Hello guys, today I am bringing you along on a journey to my room. We're not going anywhere guys, we are just painting mountains on a rainy day. Let's prepare the palette and maybe my hair as well. Should I tie it up? I don't know, I felt like keeping my hair open today, but we are going to have to do this. This is going to be a really long video guys. I take things very slow when I am painting because that's just who I am. I drew this a few days ago. This has a very special story to it. This is the house of a character that I wrote for the first ever novel that I'm writing. And yeah, it just feels very special. So I keep it on my desk so I can, I don't know, like remind myself of the character, keep thinking about her, keep imagining like what she's doing at a particular time during the day, because I think if you're writing a book, the more alive and real your characters feel to you, the more alive and real they will feel to other people. Keep in mind guys, this is not a painting tutorial. If that is something you want to see, you can always comment and I can make one in the future. But as for now, I am just painting. I have my turpentine over here and I am using linseed oil, and I'm just gonna add some paints to my palette, the ones that I've already used. This painting, oh my god, it's been a long time coming. It's so many tiny ass strokes. This one, it's kind of difficult to get through like a big chunk of it in one go. Though I am being a little bit optimistic and wanting to finish it today. Don't know if I should have said that out loud or not. But I think we can always give it a try, right? I have wanted to do something like this for a video since so long because I always talk when I'm painting and it's a little weird that I do that because I'm usually alone and like so I'm like kind of just talking into the air. But honestly guys, you should try it sometime. It's not that bad. You could look crazy to people, but that's alright. It's kind of fun to talk to yourself when you're alone. Makes you realize all of the things that are in your head that you are constantly wondering about, but you don't say it out loud, and then the crowd you're feeling for a long time. Now we are taking a very thin brush, just mixing the paints that we need for our dear painting. So what happens out here is that I like to sit this way, but then the light comes in from there. So sometimes like there's a shadow on the painting, so I have to keep it like that. But then all my stuff is here, so it's constantly like a Russian twist. But I'm just gonna stare into my painting for a bit just to realize what colors we need, and as I watch it, I am going to simultaneously add those colors to my board. I have a lot of cat hair on my palette and on my pants. Cat hair everywhere. Okay, I'm dipping my brush into the linseed oil. This feeling of mixing paint for anything that you're about to make, it never really goes away. Like, it's a different sort of feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Feels like a beginning of something. I used to mix paints all over the palette, but now I do it like this. Keeps the quantity, the mixed paint together, and it does make my job of cleaning off the palette a lot easier. Okay, we've got one dark color. We are also going to need another dark color that will base in brown or in burnt sienna, you could say, in painting language or whatever you like to call it. When you're doing something that's that tedious, you better make more. And though you have to keep in mind the consistency changes the texture of the painting. We have the darker tones. I think we do need one that will base a little bit more grey. Not exactly grey, but something that just looks like stone and ice on a big, big mountain. Oh, it just reminds me of Bob Ross. How I loved watching his tutorials and painting with him. I mean, I've only watched his tutorials on YouTube now because I was born late, guys. I think I've been born really late. I'm not for this era. I am not accustomed to this era. I feel very out of place sometimes. Just feels like, this world is odd. I'm making some highlight colors now that will create a little bit of depth and will create the parts that sunlight hits, but only in like particular places where it's light but there's some sort of a shadow still, maybe from a cloud or from receiving less sunlight. This painting that I'm creating is actually from the Triund trek that I went to. This is the Dholadar range that you see when you reach the top of the trek. You reach the last camp, and funny thing is our guide didn't even want to take us to the top. He kept telling us that it's gonna rain and It was raining the entire time, so I don't know why he was so scared, but he kept telling us that, you should not go up there. And me being me, convinced all the people in the group that I didn't even know. I just kept saying that I want to go. I'm going to go alone if you don't take us. And then a bunch of other people started saying that. And then he had to take us. I do sometimes feel like that is not the best way to go about things on a mountain. But I kind of knew that it is not risky because the weather was fine. It was almost sunny by the time we were having this conversation, and I walked all the way up there. I don't get to trek as much now because I live in the city, so I just did not want to miss the chance, and so I didn't. It was beautiful though. I will never regret doing that. It was so beautiful up there. The mountains were absolutely majestic. The Dholadhar range, it felt like this huge entity in front of me. It felt like alive. It felt like a presence. It was not like a lifeless mountain. It was, even though it's a very it's mostly just rock, that mountain. Especially, I don't know like how it looks around the year, but at that time it was very much just rock and nothing else. Very few trees. There were trees where we were, but like I was looking at this mountain and it felt like an older entity that had seen a lot, like weathered but strong, like a strong earthy presence. I don't know, guys. I don't know how to tell you how majestic that mountain was. Like every moment of aching feet was totally worth it to be on top of there and just look at that mountain and feel its greatness, feel its weight and depth in front of you. It was very different to anything I've ever experienced, and that is why I decided to paint it. My friend took this picture that I am painting. He's a photographer, so he had his camera and everything, and so he created this beautiful image of the mountain. I will link him down below, guys, if you're into landscape photography or anything like that. He's quite good. That seems about right. I've changed up the hues of some colors because this side of the mountain had a lot more light when we visited it, and I just moved the painting a little bit more into view, even though it is going to slide away, guys. I can't do anything about it. Isa was supposed to lock at some point, but it just doesn't anymore. Let's go and get my tab and begin with this painting, shall we? Keep in mind, guys, I'm just gonna sit here and paint for a long time because things like this take a long time, and I'm going to talk. And I'm just gonna do what I do, and I love doing this because it feels almost like resting. It feels calm and slow, and if you are looking for that feeling today, then keep watching, and I would love for you to be a part of this. Now let's begin. Oh, the weather is so perfect today. It's been raining since a few days now, and everything just seems to have slowed down. It's as if the world was ready for spring, or I thought it was, and then the winter sort of slid in again, and nobody's minding the rest. Everything is okay to be cold for just a few more days, just a little bit more time. I read a lot of poetry today, and it made me feel all sorts of ways. It's put me in a mood, and guys, I tried to be a good girl and drink only water because I'd already had 2 cups of coffee, but I don't think you can paint without coffee. At least I can't. It's difficult to paint with open hair, at least for me. This is our beautiful, stunning, gorgeous reference image. It was the magic of the moment that I saw this place for the first time, and me feeling that magic again when I saw this photograph, that made me just want to go ahead and put it on my canvas. I usually play music when I'm painting. Today I'm not doing that because copyright, and also because I feel like I want some calm and peace today. Sometimes if you don't want to dye your hair, just tuck it into your shirt. It works fine. Look hard at your reference, because sometimes you think you know what the landscape is saying, and then it turns out you didn't even know the language it was speaking. It is all big packed mountains out here. The thing about shadows and highlights is that the more texture you give to them within an oil painting, the more they seem to be alive and real. My advice is, if you're doing an oil painting and you want your shadows to feel alive, use more paint and let it sit there instead of merging it in with the rest. Just let it be solid and 3D. So yeah, I was saying that I read a lot of poetry today. It just made me feel things. But sometimes when you read poetry that is just so real and so sharp and true, it feels so real that you ache a little bit. And that is what I felt. It almost felt like I was not supposed to read it. It almost felt like this poetry told me things that I was not supposed to know. By the way, it's raining again. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. Just a relaxed day of talking as friends. When you start a new section of the painting, for a time it feels like you're just an imposter, like you're not even an artist, just putting things where you feel like they should be, but you have no clue. And then at some point it starts to feel real. Sometimes it's okay to feel like an imposter, because at least you're feeling. And that is why we're here, isn't it? To feel things, a lot of things, to want things. Some want us back and happen, and some don't. I hope you guys enjoy this dim, rainy light, because I absolutely have loved it since I was a little kid. I grew up in the dense mountains where I feel very grateful to know it now that as a kid I was able to experience all seasons in depth, because we had like a full-blown spring where flowers bloomed and the mountains were green and lush and just majestic. And we also had a beautiful, pleasant summer, not too hot, not cold. We had a gorgeous fall time where snow just covered everything inside. And as a kid, like, snow is the most fun thing that you can have. We also had a beautiful autumn where dead leaves fell. Though they were dead leaves, they felt more beautiful and alive than anything I've ever seen. The bright orange and red and rust colors covering the earth. It felt very much like something out of a fairy tale. And so when it rained, I loved watching the rain. I loved playing in rain. I loved getting wet and cold and just enjoying the time that we had. There is going to be a big shadow between one of these peaks. At times I think I'll have to bring the camera in closer to show you guys what I'm talking about, because I don't think you can see as of now. It is this big ridge between. It just divides these two beautiful mountains. Oh god, I love this mountain. That is so much better. Doing this right now reminds me so much of my childhood and my teen years, where I would just sit and paint for so many hours. will never stop painting. You know, there are just these things sometimes that you know you will never stop doing. And I feel like if you know that, you are absolutely lucky to begin with. There are so many people in this world that don't know what they want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think figuring it out for the first time is also feeling to chase. It's a very different feeling. I feel confused, but then you also feel so excited because there are so many possibilities, so much potential for beautiful things to happen. Beautiful evening light on a rainy day. What more could you possibly need? If you have peace, if you have joy in your life, what more could you possibly need? The weather is playful today, but it is also ruthless, like nature is supposed to be. I think I'll end this video here. I hope you enjoyed listening to me on this beautiful rainy day, and I hope I inspired you to create something of your own. And I'll see you in the next one.